Hello and welcome to See You Today, the Degree Show special. My name's Yvonne Gaskill and today we're looking through the hot topics here at Coventry University. Coming up in part one, Set Your GPS for California, feature-length film from Coventry University. Cleopatra coming at ya. Fashion students look to Egypt for inspiration. And finally, frozen felines, cats caught on ice. Drawings coming to life. First up, is 19th century photography your thing? Now, mixing the contemporary and the traditional is often seen in the fashion world, but photography has put its own spin on it. Arlene Simon found out more.
I'm here with Julie Frost and Pete Lord, and you guys have got a collective exhibition with others about the Exposure 24. Could you just tell us about the exhibition and the different contexts of exposure?
Well, this is our third year graduating exhibition, so we chose the word Exposure 24 mainly because of the connotations of photography. Unlike a lot of other universities, we're actually very, very broad in the way that we tackle photography, the sort of themes, the way that we do it. So mine and Pete's are very much 19th century processes, other people are a lot more Photoshop, very high-tech digital methods. There's a really broad range of subject matters. It's also because this is the point in which we're sort of trying to put ourselves forward a bit more, so gaining exposure on our work. So that's the general idea behind it.
This piece is Joanne. Could you tell us a bit more about it, please?
It's a 16 by 20. As so, we use the gelatinous bromide or dry plate process to coat an emulsion onto the glass. I've then taken the shots, which are 16 individual shots, on photographic paper in a 4x5 large format camera, laid them all onto the glass and then printed them together to form the final piece.
So your pieces are a bit smaller. Could you tell us a bit more about them?
Because I was influenced by Victorian aesthetics, I've been using traditional Victorian sizes. So this is a quarter plate size, typical for a studio portrait, which is kind of what I was going for. And these are carte de visite, which is sort of like a collecting card, so they would have traded around from performers. So that's basically what the size is about.
Coventry Fine Arts student is celebrating the sale of one of her paintings in a dazzling end to her university career. Diana Noor will exhibit her work in the Degree Show on the 8th of June in her own art studio space in the Graham Sutherland building. Taking inspiration from photography of tropical islands and nature, she creates some beautifully colourful pieces.
Diana Noor is presenting 7 to 8 paintings in her exhibition for her final project. She has recently been busy painting her studio space and building up the walls to display her pictures. What's the idea behind your project?
My project is much based on nature and aerial panoramas.
And why did you choose tropical islands?
I choose tropical island. Tropical island is not really the idea of my project. Some of them are based on tropical islands and some of them are based on the aspect of water and land, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
And why does nature inspire you?
Because it was something instilled by my father. He tried to teach me how to appreciate life and not the material.
The 22-year-old is looking forward to her future once she's graduated. She plans to stay in the UK and study for a master's degree. And how long does it take to complete just one painting?
It depends on each painting and each idea I have. If the idea is quite clear in my mind, it will only take a few days to finish it. If not, it could take like weeks.
And how long does it take to complete the final project?
I've been starting to work on this project from December, so it's been quite a while.
Have you had any previous exhibitions?
Yes, I have exhibited my work 3 times in Romania and 2 times in Coventry.
She was really pleased with the support she gained from her tutor and lecturers, advising her when she needed help and standing by for when she needed a hand. Graham Sholton, course leader and Diana's lecturer, says she was always up for a challenge. What do you think of Diana's work?
I think Diana's a very strong painter. It's clearly this very strong sense of colour, decorative sense, natural world in it. So it should be a very powerful exhibition that she's going to make.
And how is Diana as a student?
She's very good. She's very hard-working, very serious student. Draws her ideas from a number of different places.
On what new projects are you working on?
I'm involved in a project, in an exhibition in Brussels, organized by the European Parliament.
Diana has already sold one of her paintings at an auction to promote the degree show. So watch out for this talented young lady to take the art world by storm.
Now, are you a big fan of Iceland? No, I'm not talking about the supermarket chain. A Coventry University animation student took the country as her inspiration for her short film. Ubaida Isa went to meet her.
Alexandra Barlin, also known as Sasha, is a 21-year-old illustration and graphics student from Coventry University, originally from Romania. Sasha has created an animation film as part of an illustration nation, which will be shown in the degree show in June in Coventry. I will be speaking to her to gain more information about her project. Hello Sasha, so tell us a little bit more about your project.
Right, so the animation I made is part of a short film called Pal, which was shot in Iceland, and it tells the story about an 8-year-old Icelandic boy who tries to escape from his difficult life by imagining himself as an animated cat in his dreams.
What motives did you have behind this short animation film?
Well, I chose this project because, first of all, it was going to be shot in Iceland, which was one of the places I really wanted to see. And also because it provided a good chance for me to practice my animation skills.
How long was it to get everything up and running before everything actually got filmed?
Right, so we went in Iceland for 10 days in February, I believe, and my role there was as an observer. So my job was to look around and absorb all the information and atmosphere that Iceland had to offer so I could translate it into the animation. So that took 10 days. But after that, I had to work for a month straight, like every day, because animation is a very long-winded process.
So how long is the film altogether?
The film altogether will be 10 minutes long, out of which 2 minutes will be the actual animated sequences.
So after this animation film, do you plan on going and doing bigger and better things?
Oh, definitely. I want to become an animator, when I grow up.
So in terms of the storyline, what inspired you to come up with that particular storyline?
Well, it wasn't particularly my story. The story was written by Laura Jane Meads, a media student production. A media production student, sorry. And I was really attracted to that script, particularly because it had dream sequences and all my artwork is very dreamlike, so I thought it fits very well.
All right then, thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming soon to the big screen, a unique project that pioneers Coventry University into the film industry. A story that bonds California with Coventry, as James Nissen explains.
6 months ago, media production students set themselves the ultimate challenge of creating a crowd-funded feature-length film to be shot in both the UK and California. Today, the 6-strong team are putting the final touches to the project. Latitude the Movie will be the first full-length feature film produced entirely by Coventry Media Production students. We managed to catch up with producer Mick Lemaire to talk about his adventure.
Well, Latitude the Movie is about 2 technology geeks, basically. They're sort of the best of friends and the worst of friends. They need each other, but they annoy each other. And basically, they're into this global treasure hunting game called geocaching, which is done via sort of iPhones and GPSs and stuff. And they're little packages that are hidden, and you go around and find them. And they get put on this task by sort of a series of geocaches. That means that they are transported from Coventry over to the States.
We asked Mick how he felt the experience had benefited his prospective media career.
I can't possibly describe how beneficial it's been. We just learned so much about distribution, about making the film, about sound, about talking to people, about actors, about casting. It's just, the list goes on.
Latitude the Movie was an entirely crowd-funded project. Students used funding forum Kickstarters as well as local media to pitch their venture to prospective investors.
We also managed to get a few companies to sponsor us. BMW Mini sponsored us. They gave us a Mini for the week we were in England. We also got put in the Coventry Telegraph, the local radio. We've been asked to go on Midlands Today. It got written up on quite a few websites online.
When asked whether he'd repeat the process, Mick's exhaustion became apparent.
I would probably not do it again for about a year. I'm still very tired.
Standing here where it all began, Latitude the Movie is in its final editing process, and will hit screens next year. This is James Nissen reporting for CUToday.
Loving the banana suit, James. Now, an exclusive interview with actress Greta Scacchi.
So I'm very happy to be in Coventry and working at the Belgrade Theatre, and very pleased to come and talk to drama students. I'm on tour at the moment. This is the 10th week of a 12-week tour all over the British Isles, so we're in Coventry this week, and we're doing Betty and Joan, which is a new play about Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. It's a two-hander. Anita Dobson plays Joan Crawford and I play Betty Davis. They were the two great leading ladies at Warner Brothers Studios in Hollywood in the 30s and 40s. So they were set up as rivals, and they were very successful through their younger days. By the time they were in their mid-40s and early 50s, there was very little work for them. So they were facing the dilemma of having been great stars, very much in demand when they were younger and more beautiful, and the reality that there were not roles for them when they were older, something that is still very true today. So all the material in the play is based on documented evidence from autobiographies, biographies, and television interviews, as well as the many film roles that they both played. It's all quite authentic. So it's presented in two intertwined monologues where they're each talking frankly to the audience in a way a bit like as if they were on a chat show, except what they reveal about themselves is much more intimate.
From Caribbean couture to Egyptian elegance, 6 students from Coventry University have taken their clothes to the catwalk as part of a local competition. Lauren Stuckus reports.
Working on last-minute changes to their final projects, these students have been nominated for the prestigious title Midlands Designer of the Year. They have been working on their collections since last summer and are now approaching the final stages of their work. Fiona Lineker is just one of 6 students from Coventry who has been chosen for this year's award and will be competing with 26 other candidates from the Midlands area. And what was your inspiration behind these pieces?
Well, I looked at African ceremonial costumes and the movement that's created in them and the lack of identity with them, and that's what I used to base this collection.
And what methods did you use on these pieces?
I've used the laser cutter to create moving fringes and textures, and I've used the dye sublimation printer to get really bright prints.
Ashlyn Eakin is also up for the coveted prize this season. How did you feel when you found out you were a finalist?
I was so happy, I couldn't believe it. I got an email through and it was a few days after some of the other people, so I thought I hadn't got it, and then I had to sort of recheck it a few times, and just after doing all this work it was just really good to hear.
And where did you find your fabrics?
We all went to Paris to buy them because then you don't end up with sort of the same as everyone else in England, and they had some really nice ones. Some of my fabrics I printed myself, but a lot of them were bought in Paris.
Each line has been inspired by the designer's own interests, including Wing Lai with her chic creations. And what's the theme of your collection?
I started looking into feminism, and then it kind of lead me on to look into the importance of Egyptian women, so that's where it came from.
And what would it mean to you if you won?
A lot, because I think, well, I hope that it helped me to find a career in the fashion industry, so yeah.
After plenty of preparation, the students eagerly await the panel's decision. The awards are set to take place in Birmingham this October, where the winner will be announced.
Here's what's coming up next. We have an exclusive interview with Mr. Coventry himself, Brodie Swain. How to make a car model out of clay and what to expect from the much anticipated Coventry Car Day. Well, we're joined now by Mr. Coventry himself, yes, Brodie Swain, obviously from Touch FM, and he's just been with us for the Coventry Conversation. Hello to you, Brodie.
Hello, Yvonne. Thank you for chatting to me today.
We're very honoured to have you here. So, you are Mr. Coventry, aren't you?
Well, that's what they say, but I think a few other people have got that title in Coventry as well, but it seems to be mine for the time, and I intend to keep it. It's my title and nobody's having it.
And nobody's touching it. The most famous person though in Coventry?
I wouldn't say that, no. I think what it is, because I get involved in a lot of community things in Coventry, I'm seen an awful lot, so I don't think there's many days where you wouldn't see my name in the newspaper. But that's mostly supporting the community, to be honest, rather than attending swanky showbiz events.
I bet there's a bit of swanking around though.
There has been a bit of swank over the years, but to be honest with you, it's all mostly to do with giving something back to the city, really, and getting involved in a lot of charity stuff.
So you present Touch FM's breakfast show, yeah? And how long have you done that for, and how did you get into it?
Been with Touch since November 2007. Prior to that, I was working for a radio station in Cheltenham, which was in a beautiful area. We all know Cheltenham, a famous race course and everything. But I wanted to get back in a city. I'm a Birmingham born and bred bloke originally, and I love cities, and worked in Coventry back in 2004. So decided Coventry was for me.
What is it about Coventry that is so special, do you think?
Yeah, I when I first came in 2007, I hadn't really fallen in love with the place. It was just a big city for me, very exciting, and then gradually fell in love with the people. I would say the people, its history, and also the way they welcome me into their hearts, really. That's the biggest thing. And when somebody does that to you, or a city does that, you want to give something back.
And it's not just you that's famous. The current Mrs. Swain's got a place, hasn't she?
Absolutely, yeah. I talk about the Mrs. or current Mrs. Swain quite a bit on the radio, and yeah, everybody always asks me about her, more than me actually, which is a bit irritating.
She's getting more famous than you.
I think she
taking
is.
your crown.
I think you're right.
So, what's next for Mr. Coventry?
At the moment, just carry on getting the name of the radio station out there, carrying on doing lots of stuff for the community. I'm a Coventry ambassador, I'm a Rotarian, so literally just putting this city on the map.
Well, all the very best to you. Now, I want you to look into the camera and tell us when you're on and what happens on the breakfast show.
Wow. Weekdays, 6 till 10, tune in. It's really good. 96.2 Touch FM. Thank you.
Do tune in. Monstrous marriages and horrid husbands. That's the theme of a play being put on by a group of Coventry University's theatre students. It's a musical adaptation of a Brothers Grimm story with a dark twist. Harriet Elvidge found out more.
We're here at Shopfront Theatre in Coventry City Arcade, where tonight a group of Coventry University theatre students called Strongbox are putting on a production of 12 Dancing Princesses, which is open to the public. We're here to find out more. Strongbox Theatre was formed in January by a group of 3 final year students. They were tasked with putting on a production of their own at a new venue in the heart of the city. We're here with Cassie North from Strongbox Theatre. Hi Cassie.
Hiya.
Can you tell us a bit about the project that you're working on at the moment?
The project's called The 12 Dancing Princesses. It was originally a Brothers Grimm tale. And we've basically taken inspiration from a novel called Sex and the Cherry by Jeanette Winterson, which is kind of a darker depiction of the original tale.
So is this part of your university final project, or is this more of an independent project?
It's part of our final project. What we have to do is we have to kind of form companies between ourselves, the whole kind of class. In many ways, the final project is about kind of standing on our own 2 feet as a company, and kind of going out there and making work, and doing all the jobs that a professional theatre company would do. So a lot to do with marketing and advertising, and yeah, directing our own show, producing it. We've done a lot over the 3 years, but to suddenly direct and produce our own play is a kind of a big step. So our lecture's been absolutely great. The technical staff in Ellen Terry as well have been fantastic. I don't know much about lighting, so if we ever have any questions, we go and ask them, and they give us as much help and support as we need.
Theatre Absolute, the company in charge of the Shopfront venue, collaborated with the student company and allowed them to use the space. Playwright and art director of Theatre Absolute thought they did a great job.
But brilliant, I thought it was charming, really, really lovely piece, and a great use of this space, which is what we've opened up as ourselves as Theatre Absolute. So we make work here, and we want other people to come and make work here as well. The whole physicality and the changing of the characters and going from one to the other, the music was fantastic. It's just really wonderfully expressive, it's really nice.
Overall, the play was a great success for the company, and Strongbox have breathed new life into an old story, as well as bringing drama and music to a place in Coventry where it has scarcely been seen before.
Frogs are probably not what you'd expect to find in a degree show performance. However, one music production student is breaking the mould in an attempt to make us use our imaginations. Denny Georgieva has this report.
The humble hedgehog is spotted in gardens around the country, but have you ever wondered what life is really like for them? Well, now you have a chance to find out. A new exhibition called Life by a Red Bucket aims to provide visitors with the same experience as our prickly friends.
The show aims to remind people of the power of imagination by placing them in a pitch-black room before introducing sounds and colored lights. It is a sensory storytelling experience which aims to challenge the increasingly visual culture we now live in.
It's a new way of experiencing sort of this bedtime story, and you can have, your imagination can take you so far with sort of getting sounds, and sort of, if you say your parents are reading a story or something, you can picture what's going on in it. But this experience is going to enhance those pictures that can be created in your mind and what's going on, and the sounds and the lighting will sort of help that out.
The grass is about the same height as me, which suits the nervous disposition that has crept over me following last night's exploits. I saunter through it.
There's a 5.1 surround sound setup being used for the piece, and things like if you're sitting facing forward, a car could go back behind you from your right to your left hand shoulder. I think I like that element of the project the most.
After experiencing the show, you'll never see hedgehogs in the same light again.
Gallons of paint, hot clay and sweat have been put into the Industrial Designs degree show. The technicians and students have lost tons of sleep for the car models they built. Luckily, they were eager to guide us through the process. Vlad Morris has this report.
It takes dedication and a lot of hard work to finish a university degree, especially when it involves making a car model. As the degree show draws closer, over 120 industrial design students are applying the finishing touches to their creations. But the satisfaction of completing those 3 years is definitely worth the effort.
It was a lot of hard work, a lot of stress. Tutors are pressing us to do work all the time, which we get frustrated and angry in the beginning, but now when you finish you say, yeah, they did that for good. So yeah, it's quite a relief, to be honest.
As with every complex manufacturing process, it all starts off with a sketch, which transforms further into a computer-generated drawing. Then, using clay straight out of the oven, the model is meticulously produced and left to dry at room temperature, before sculpting, peeling, and other final touches are applied. And last but not least, like any actual car, the model is placed in a painting booth, where primer is applied before the final layer of paint.
As we get closer to the date, people have less and less sleep, so they get a little ragged around the edges. But I think it's kind of like passing your driving test. When you finally get to the show, the sense of relief is overpowering. I think this will be a very, very successful show. We have a very high rate of people being taken into industry, into the design community. I think it's going to be very good.
With months of hard work from students and teachers alike, and with over £2,000 spent on paint, anxiety fills the department. The show will start on the 31st of May at 6 o'clock in the Maurice Foss building.
Have you ever wanted a Ferrari or a Porsche to park in front of your house? Well, now you can, because Coventry Car Day is bringing all the luxurious cars in the world to your front door. Amel Ghattafi has this report.
Since the early 1900s, Coventry has had a long-standing relationship with the car industry. Coventry City, the birthplace of the Jaguar, will be celebrating its robust auto history this summer.
Coventry Car Day is going to be a celebration of the motor car in Coventry, really, because Coventry University is celebrating 40 years of its automotive design course, from which a lot of postgraduate students have gone on to have glittering careers with various motor car manufacturers all over the world, and they have produced some fantastic cars, the examples of which will be on University Square on the 9th of June, the likes of Ferrari, Ford, Bugatti.
Along with giants in the field, Coventry Car Day will also feature a career fair and several lectures.
Coventry's relationship with the car is organic, really. It's part of Coventry's very fabric, because the the internal combustion engine. When Gottlieb Daimler came to Coventry in the very early 1900s, he sorted out the dynamics of in the internal combustion engine. It was off and running, and that was it. We were away.
The city will host some of the best models in car history worldwide. Guest companies will also include Jaguar, Ferrari, and Ford. Peugeot will be unveiling its newest 208 model with its even bolder designs. For CUtoday, Amel Gatatfi, Coventry University.
Make mine a Porsche, please. Here's the weather now with Arlene Simon.
Thank you, Yvonne. Tomorrow's weather's looking quite like today, staying cloudy and feeling rather cool, but hopefully with a high of 13 degrees and a low of 9 overnight. Looking forward to Coventry Car Day. It's looking quite mixed, I'm afraid. We're starting off quite wet with showers, but later, hopefully, that should be brightened up with some sunshine. A warm 18 degrees, great weather for viewing cars.
That's all we've got time for too. I hope you've enjoyed it. Till next time though, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.